Hi, my lovely ladies. Welcome to Sunny Delicious. Today we are getting into something that we all have been struggling with at some point, and that is boundaries. Yep, those invisible small lines that need to be getting straightened up. Sometimes we feel like it's a mystery to navigate, especially when you are taught to be the nice girl who's always available and so selfless. But hey, ladies, boundaries are very essential for your sanity, for your peace, and for your own happiness. So buckle up as we dive into why women should embrace boundaries in both friendships and relationships. Now, let's talk about protecting our space, energy, and our peace. First things first. What are boundaries? What exactly is a boundary? Think of your boundaries as your personal no trespassing sign. They define where you end and where the other person begins. It's about self respect and making sure others understand your limits. It's not about building walls. No, it's not about building walls and being untouchable. No, it's just about creating guidelines for how you deserve to be treated. Because, sis, if you don't set these boundaries, no one will follow them. How will you expect people to follow the boundaries that you didn't set? So you need to set them and get it out there that hey, I've got boundaries and this is how we work around them. So imagine you are a house. Your boundaries are your front door. You let people barge in whenever they want with muddy shoes and bad vibes. Your house, which is being you, is going to end up being messy, exhausted, and feeling disrespected. Boundaries are how we say, hey, take off your shoes before you come into my house. So not everyone is going to like that tone, but to make your life more easier, to make your life more manageable, you need to learn how to set your boundaries, and people in your life, they need to be very used to you having boundaries, so they know there are limits when it comes to you. So now let's get into why so many people struggle with boundaries. Society plays a huge role in this. From a young age, many of us have been conditioned to put others' needs first. Be polite, don't be upset, always be there for people. I know, it sounds familiar. Women are often labeled as nurturers, which is so beautiful, don't get me wrong. But this can sometimes lead us to being people pleasers. And guess what? Being a people pleaser is the enemy of setting boundaries. It's the enemy of setting boundaries. That's why some women, they feel so uneasy when it comes to them putting the foot down and setting boundaries. So they just rather let people walk all on top of them. And not everyone is all about that life. So this is for the ladies who want to learn how to set those boundaries, no matter how hard it's gonna be. For example, think about how often women apologize for things that aren't even their fault. Sometimes someone bumps into you and you are the one saying, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's a small thing, but it's a sign of how we are taught to shrink ourselves. Or in relationships, when women often hesitate to speak up their needs because they fear of being too much or being too demanding. It happens so much. It happens a lot. Society whispers that we should sacrifice our own well being to keep the peace. But let me tell you something. We weren't put onto this earth to make everyone else to be comfortable while we are suffering in silence. Not today and not ever. So just get out of that leash. Get out of that devil's wish. So how do you know if your boundaries need a little work? Here are your signs. Mm, the first one, you feel emotionally drained after hanging out with certain people. If your energy is constantly depleted after spending time with friends or loved ones, it might be that they are crossing your boundaries emotionally and even physically. So that leaves you emotionally drained. That's one sign that your boundaries need a little work. The second one is you find it hard to say no. We've all been there, saying yes to plans or favors we really don't want to do, just to avoid confrontation. But saying no is self care, and you should learn to say no without feeling bad. You're not being rude, you're not being selfish, you're just putting yourself first for once, and that's the best thing you can do for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The third one is you feel guilty for prioritizing your needs. Listen. You don't need to feel guilty for needing your time alone or choosing yourself. You don't need to feel guilty for that. Guilt is often a sign that society society's expectations are messing up with your mind, and you need to get rid of that as soon as possible. As soon as possible. I know that sounds familiar. So it's time to reassess those boundaries, my friend. It's time to reassess those boundaries. Now, let's talk about friendships for a moment, because this is where boundaries can get tricky, real tricky. Let's say you have that one friend who always wants to hang out, but you've had a long day and really need some me time, instead of feeling obligated to say yes. It's perfectly okay to say, hey, I'm going to set this one out. I need to recharge. I need to recharge. I need to sort my own things out. A friend will respect your space. A friend will respect your need. So, or let's say you have a friend who's always dumping their problems onto you without asking if you have the capacity to listen. A healthy boundary could be saying, I love you, but I can't handle this right now. Can we talk about it some other time? Boundaries in friendships are about mutual respect. And if someone makes you feel bad for having boundaries, they may not be the friend you think they are. Because if I'm your friend and I really do care about you, I'm not going to want to do things that are just going to keep messing up with your energy and making you feel miserable. I wouldn't want to do that. Now, the relationship talk. Let's get real. Let's get real. Boundaries in relationships are just as important as they are in friendships, if not more. So it's easy to lose yourself in a relationship, guys. Love will make you do crazy stuff. Love will make you do crazy stuff. You might even start prioritizing your partner's needs over your own. And that's the first track to resentment. Oh, girls. For example, let's say if your partner expects you to be available 24/7 or gets upset when you want to spend time with your friends or your family, oh my God, it's time to set a boundary. It's time to set a boundary. A simple, I love you. I love spending time with you, but I also need time to myself. I also need time to spend with my family, and I have friends that I wanna hang out with sometime. Stuff like that. They go a long way, but you need to voice these feelings out. You need to let them know. You need to let them know. And if your partner has a problem with that, you might want to change your partner, because girl, you are in jail. Another example is when when a partner expects you to drop everything for them but never doing the same thing for you. It's time to have a boundary check, girl. Relationships are about give and take, not only take. Setting boundaries, it will ensure that both people feel valued, respected, and most importantly, they are seen, and they are seen in a relationship as individuals. No matter how much you love your partner, do not lose your individuality. Do not lose your individuality, because if you lose that, you risk losing who they fell in love with. So you want to hang on. You want to hang on to who you truly are. You want to hang on to your beliefs, your hobbies, your lifestyle. And I'm not saying do not include your partners into your life. I'm not saying all of that. I'm just saying just do not forget who you are. Do not forget why you fell in love with someone, and do not expect them as well to change and to be fully one with you. At some point you're gonna have to understand that both of you are two separate people. You are individuals, so have your own life. Ladies, here's the bottom line, okay? Boundaries are not walls. They are not walls. They are bridges to healthier relationships. They are bridges to healthier friendships that are built on mutual respect and love, whether it's with your family, your friends, or romantic partners. Setting boundaries is how you protect your energy, your mental health, and your peace. Don't ever feel guilty for putting yourself first. You are worthy of respect. And if someone can't respect your boundaries, they don't deserve your time. They absolutely do not deserve your time. No, go out there and start setting those boundaries, queen. Go out there and do it for yourself. Go out there and do what you've got to do. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. At first, your friends are not going to like it if they're not used to you having boundaries. But if they truly do care about you, they're going to have to understand that, okay, things are changing and this is what's going on now, and let's see how we can adjust to these new changes. But setting boundaries is for people who see that if they don't set these boundaries, they're not going to be happy, and they have no other choice than to set these boundaries. So good luck, guys, on setting your boundaries. I hope you are the best. So hey man, have a good day. Enjoy your boundary setting journey, and know that here on Sanity Delicious, we are always gonna be here sharing all these tips for women, these tips for women to grow and to to flourish in their womanhood journeys. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, toodles.